Hi, welcome to the 10th of September. It's Tuesday. Thank you very much for tuning in as we whip around some of Thailand's main news stories. We'll get to the baht in just a moment, but we do have some concerning animal cruelty stories later on in the program, a warning to those people that could be upset, myself included. All right, to the baht. It says baht volatility against the dollar exceeds regional peers. And this is the Bangkok Post reporting this. A scene I'm sure we can all associate with. It says the baht's been exhibiting a greater degree of volatility against the US dollar than its regional peers, mainly due to market expectations of a US policy rate cut and Thailand's gold imports. Now, we're not going to be comparing the baht against all the other currencies today. You can do that yourself with about 2 clicks on your Google machine. But, obviously, the comparison to the US dollar is consistent, and it's something that we need to keep an eye on. And a money market strategist at the Krung Thai Global Market says the baht's significant depreciation is linked to movements in the dollar and gold prices based on US economic data. And separately, TTB, another Thai bank, Analytics, projects the baht will continue to experience volatility, largely driven by the dollar, in line with the Fed's, that's the US Fed's policy rate direction and the upward trend in global gold prices. Let's check the baht against the US dollar today, and the value of the dollar looks to drop against the Thai baht once again, now below 34 baht to the Thai dollar, down into the 33s. And all this has happened since a peak back in April this year anyway, of some 37 Thai baht to the US dollar. So just in the last 3 months, it's dropped 10%. But if you have a look at, this is a chart showing 10 years, really where we are at the moment is sort of in the middle of where it's been over the past 10 years. Or it's going to make it less attractive to US travellers, also making it more difficult for Thai exporters. And people earning US dollars here in Thailand are getting 10% less than we were 3 months ago. Now, to some infrastructure projects. We've got the new cabinet in place. We've got a new prime minister. What is happening with some of those big infrastructure projects? And we go to nationthailand.com. PM's policy statement likely to focus on 3 mega projects. What are those 3? Well, the first one is called the Gulf of Thailand's Pearl Necklace Project. Pearl Necklace Project. It says this is a large-scale flood protection project for Bangkok and its vicinity to counter the increasing risk of flooding caused by rising sea levels globally due to severe global warming. So the next paragraph goes through the imminent danger that Bangkok's facing now. But down to the third paragraph, just try and picture this. The proposal suggests constructing 9 artificial islands along a 100-kilometre coastal stretch to combat rising sea levels. Each island would feature protective seawalls with gates that can be opened and closed. The first island is planned for the Bang Khun Tien shoreline, with the remaining islands extending up to Chonburi. And each island would cover an area of some 50 square kilometres and be situated 1 kilometre offshore, connected to the mainland by roads. So let's go to a bit of a picture here. So the first part of this project would be just near the mouth of the Chao Phraya, south of Bangkok, this Bang Khun Tien district along here. But they've already got something similar where the arrow's pointing here, an area I visited last year. And it's along this stretch of beach. I was staying actually at the rather oddly named Seaman Resort. And it's a whole lot of little mini islands that dot this particular stretch, and you can see them there. And it's right along the Chao Samran beach. Now, this is what it looks like, and you can see that it allows the sand to keep building up and not be washed away. And the way that it's been set up there has given this coastline a scalloped look for around about 3 or 4 kilometres. And that's at the Chao Samran beach, about halfway from Bangkok to, say, Hua Hin, about 1.5 to 2 hours out of Bangkok. Very nice beach, by the way. Certainly a place I'd be very happy to go and visit again. And the beaches, well, interesting with those sort of scalloped shorelines. The second thing they've got on the list of their mega project list is the Land Bridge project. As you know, it involves the construction of deep seaports, both for the Gulf of Thailand and the Andaman coast. And then all the roads and the tunnels and the trains, all the infrastructure to connect one side of the Isthmus of Kra to the other, some 60 odd kilometres. And this map gives you an idea where the land bridge would be. You've got Singapore down the bottom there, Malaysia, and that skinny part of Thailand that they would link with this land bridge. And on the left-hand side of the picture, you've got the Ao Cape, which is near Ranong, over to Chumpon on the Gulf of Thailand side. And those yellow bits would be great big tunnels through mountainous areas. I'd suggest there's probably a lot more water to go under that particular land bridge. All the trade experts and infrastructure experts still say that the Kra Canal, digging a canal like the Panama Canal, would be quicker, cheaper, and much more efficient, and probably something that the shipping companies would be much more likely to use. Anyway, let's check number 3, which is the Entertainment Complex Project. Again, they can't say that C word, casino. And the Deputy Secretary-General to the Prime Minister for Political Affairs, I didn't know there was such a thing, revealed the government's pushing forward with comprehensive legislation for the Entertainment Complex Project, with Thailand opting for a large-scale model similar to Singapore's. And they said the C word. Casinos will account for no more than 10% of the project's total area, while other facilities such as concert halls, luxury hotels, and shopping malls will be built in the remaining space. Well, we all know it's that 10% that people are really interested in, the casino, and the amount of money it might put in certain people's pockets. But that's the government's latest list of the big infrastructure projects, the mega projects that they want to support. So I'd be interested to hear your comments about those particular 3 infrastructure projects. Apparently, they're the ones that have made their way to the top of the pile. Are there other ones that you'd be more interested or more focused on? So interested to hear your comments. We also acknowledge the support of both 5-Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com, as well as Beach House Thailand. Now, you can find information in the description area of this video. You can find links and a special deal for TNT viewers for 5-Star Marine. The sun's out today, wouldn't mind being out there on the water. And also Beach House Thailand, there's a list of the 4 or 5 properties currently available. I say 4 or 5 because we're still working on 4 and 5. Right, to 3 rather troubling stories, and if you're sensitive to animal cruelty, maybe you might like to scroll through these. But anyway, here we go. Bangkok Post starts with squabble over pets escalates to murder and suicide. This happened up in Pathum Thani, which is north of Bangkok. A months-long dispute over 2 pets, a dog and a cat, culminated in a retired army officer shooting dead his neighbour and then ending his own life. So the bodies of a 64-year-old retired colonel and his neighbour, a woman 53 years old, were found at the site, and the woman's 30-year-old son was also injured. And witnesses told police the army retiree and his woman neighbour had a long-running dispute and had argued again over the fence that morning. The man then went inside. He re-emerged with a 9mm pistol, walked over to the woman's house and shot her repeatedly. Well, that one not so much animal cruelty. The next one certainly is, and we go to thaipbsworld.com. Hope Thailand to stop dog sacrifice ritual in Nan. This is up in the north of Thailand. Hope Thailand, a non-profit organisation dedicated to the prevention of cruelty to animals, has been urging local officials in the northern province of Nan to prevent villagers in Ban Huai Kleb holding a ritualistic dog sacrifice. According to Hope Thailand's webpage, the ritual, which was scheduled to take place about 3 p.m. on Sunday, was halted by the village headman. And then the article goes through how Hope Thailand found out about this particular ritual and the ramifications for the person that alerted them. And the article finishes, And officials from Hope Thailand also plan a visit to Ban Huai Klep to talk to the village headman about ceasing the practice and to educate the villagers on the laws which protect animals from cruelty. So glad there weren't more details in that particular article. And to this one, which is just confusing. As reported in the Pattaya news, dogs in Pattaya found with mouth covered and water bottles hanging from their neck, leading to outrage from animal activists. It says dogs found with their mouths covered shut and water bottles hanging around their necks has sparked outrage in Pattaya. The Facebook post said, I happened to deliver goods around there and wondered why their mouths were taped. Some are even taped tightly with electrical tape. And this was all happening in Soi 12, Pattaya Naklua. They discovered nearly 10 dogs with their mouths covered shut. Some had water bottles tied around their necks, making their movements difficult. But it appeared, it says, their mouths were covered with perforated socks and not tape and could still allow the dog to drink and eat but not bite people. More about that in a moment. But just looking at the photos, it just looks like there's electrical tape around the dog's muzzles. And doesn't look like the dogs are particularly happy about it. There we can sort of see the idea of the perforated sock around the dog's mouth. What is this all about? Well, calsideenglish.com have dug a bit deeper and say Pattaya probes viral sock muzzle dogs photos, finds unique noise control. So, we need to understand soy dogs can be an issue. Even just out the front of this property, we've got soy dogs. Daisy was one of them. She was a pup and she found her way into our house. She's got a home, but there are probably 7 or 8 strays out the front, and they do cause problems making their way across the road. We have the odd motorcycle accident. We have the odd attack. I've been bitten by one of the soy dogs, not these ones, but not too far from here. So they can cause problems, and I understand that people do want to try and control them somehow. Not sure if this is the way, but let's find out what's going on. And a lady they found near the area explained the dogs were originally collected and bred by foreigners who then left the country. And her father continued to care for them, and as she raised them, she grew to love them and felt obligated to look after them. And she believed her method wasn't cruel, as it allowed both dogs and humans to coexist peacefully while preventing any negative impact on others. And she mentioned the area often had foreign tourists walking by and the dogs unable to distinguish between people. Oh, I think dogs can distinguish between people, would bark at them. And some dogs also chased children playing in the area. Therefore, she devised mouth covers for them at night, made from old loose school socks, with the ends cut off, slipped over their mouths and tied at the neck. And then a veterinary expert from Pattaya City told reporters that upon inspection they found the dog caretakers to be socially responsible. The use of socks might be misunderstood, making people think the dogs can't eat or drink, but the on-site inspection showed the dogs can eat and drink normally. Would have thought if they can eat and drink normally, they can probably bite normally as well. I'm not sure if it's going to stop the dogs from barking either, but there you go. Now, just finally, what's happening with the weather? And more rain for Bangkok, flooding for Ang Thong and Ayutthaya. This is from the Bangkok Post. And more rain is forecast for the Bangkok area throughout this week, with flooding imminent in Ang Thong and Ayutthaya provinces. This is north of Bangkok. And the TMD forecast rain for more than half of Greater Bangkok this week, with particularly heavy falls due on Sunday. And just quickly checking the Bangkok weather, 28 degrees at the moment. This is at 9 a.m. in the morning. And over the next 7 days, it looks like indeed there is rain and thunderstorm on each day. But it is, as I've mentioned many times, wet season in Thailand at the moment. Not everywhere, though, as one commenter pointed out yesterday. In Koh Samui, they have their wet season in November and December. And at the moment, apparently very nice indeed. Thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to the channel. Please support our sponsors, and we'll see you again tomorrow.